I gotta tell you, I'm kind of liking this. Don't be surprised if we come back.
Imagine what we could sell that hat for.
Pay for the heater.
Yeah, that's crossed my mind. The heater is actually being worked on. We thought it was going to be done yesterday, but the guy showed up and the part was not the correct part, so it just delayed it a little bit longer. But as I said, hey, I asked us all to pray for heat. I didn't say it had to come a specific way. We got heat. That's such a lesson in and of itself. If this wasn't the abundance program, I'd go with that. Because when you pray for it, how it shows up, you shouldn't be complaining and whining about that. It showed up this way. I'm just really glad that the insight came that said, hey, go to your hall. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. Because last week, if you were here, it was really hard for me to watch you shivering under the blankets. If you weren't here last week, it was pretty bad in the sanctuary. And even though I put out blankets galore, to see you all like this, it's not how I want to see my people. And I care about my people. So this feels so much better. We Southern Californians are a little spoiled, I think, right? All right, so this is very cozy. Here it is. I can really see everybody's eyes, and whether you like that or not, I do. You can't hide. And neither can I. Every year we do this abundance program. We have moved it around sometimes and other times of the year, but January has been consistent now for about the last 10 years. The reason we do it is really the reason I do any program. One is to educate. One is to expand our consciousness about a new truth. One is so that our lives personally and collectively here at Harmony Center are enriched.
Yes.
It will unfold, so as each week goes, it will build on itself. Today I'm going to set the foundation. Next week we'd step up, and then we step up, and we step up. So every single week we'll build and expand on the week before. Right? So if you missed it, you have options of how to get the previous week, but they will definitely unfold. So if today leaves you with, well, what about that question might be answered next week. Okay? So come each time or find a way to hear each time to see if those questions get answered. Before I go any further, I would like to introduce the team of people who have helped me create this year's theme, which is Expand Your Consciousness. So will the team of people who helped me please stand and let us acknowledge you. Leslie, Laura, and Becky. The only one I don't see in the room is Beatrice. These lovely people came together with me. We visioned, we brainstormed, we planned, and we came up, well, today is It's Always There, but the overall theme is expanding our containers. And you see our logo, which does exactly that. Expanding our containers. We have to start with foundation number one. It's always there. It is another way to say God. If that's foreign to you, it's like we're trying to put words on something that are beyond words. This could have been, God is always there. Not yet. We could have said God is always there, but we mean it's always there. God is always there. Abundance is always there. It's always there. When I say God, it's helpful to get clear, each one of us, to get clear on what that means to us. Because to hear your good is always there, if you believe God is a moody, human-like, judgmental, maybe you're worthy, maybe you're not kind of being, then this idea of it's always there is going to be real hard for you. Because how could this moody, judgmental, conditional being be always there for you? If you believe that God is the one source and the one power and creating everything, becoming everything, sustaining everything, giving everything, and this is going to be a piece of cake. That's what I want. Cake for everybody. Yeah. So that's what, for us, God is that one source, that one power, withholding nothing. We have been taught by other religious institutions that God is that moody, conditional, maybe you're worthy, maybe you're not. Gosh, it's control, folks. It's control. Sometimes, however, that baggage, if we've been given that baggage, is a little hard to overcome. But little by little by little, if we tell ourselves, why would a God that is an infinite being or source ever judge its own creation? Makes absolutely no sense. And I say it doesn't. God does not judge its own creation. We have already been given everything we could ever want, but we forget. So when we come to a program like Abundance Program, what do I mean by abundance? And this is important because I have a lot of new folks here, and I want to make sure you understand. I use this example because it was such an eye-opener for me of what abundance is not. One time, a few years ago, there's a man that helps us make this room beautiful, Art Garcia. And I was talking about our abundance program, and he just kept getting this kind of icky look in his face. What do you mean, abundance program? So I was almost like, he didn't like the sound of that. He finally goes, well, what do you mean? So I tried to explain to him a little bit of what we meant by abundance. He goes, oh, this is what it has meant to me. And he takes this big wad of keys out of his pocket, which was bulging. And he goes, I have an abundance of keys. It was not a good thing. He had too many keys in his mind. So abundance was, why would you want to tell people to have too much of something? Right? So abundance for us does not mean too much of something. It doesn't mean something you might want to get rid of. Abundance means this. And this. This. And this. And this. And this. And this. And this. Done? That's how we collect the offering? Yeah. Who knew such a simple thing? Okay, so abundance for us is everything. Everything. So let's make it a little more personal. Everything that makes life worth. Sufficiency is a word that our founder, Ernest Holmes, uses. Sufficiency of every good thing. Yes, we mean money and financial good. It must be in that equation, but certainly not just that. As you saw by the pictures, breath. Is there any withholding of air to breathe on our planet? No. Is there any withholding of any of that you saw? Especially in nature, that's the easiest way to see it, which is why we put so many pictures of nature. When I forget, that's exactly where I take my mind. Go out into nature again and tell me if there's any lack or limitation or withholding in nature. It takes me right back to the key. If there's only one source and that one source is providing everything, that source is nature itself. That source is everything we could ever possibly need. How could it ever withhold anything from me, one of its very own beloved? It can't. And that realigns me back to my center each and every time. So sufficiency is a really good word. Or like Ernest Holmes says, and Pat Sanchez's most favorite, God stuff. God stuff, which is everything. All right, now I also have Christian Sorensen like Janny did. And mine's from November of this year, from the Science Mind magazine. And I'm going to actually use this all throughout our program. But I'm going to start with this one. There is only one power, one source, that is omnipresent throughout the multidimensional expression of life, from which everything emerges in a divine order. There is unlimited affluent flow swirling around you and available to you right now. You don't have a storehouse big enough to contain it, nor does anyone. Are we living like that? Are we living like that? It's swirling around us, available to us. We don't have a storehouse big enough to contain it. Does anybody feel like their storehouse